be dreaming safe and sound. You better know why. Baby, that's all I got. When we come down to yeah, we'll be dreaming safe and sound. You better know why. Baby, that's all I got. Baby, that's all I got. Is this the kind of sound that you wanna hear? Is this the kind of vibe that you wanna feel? 'Cause I'm the type of guy that you'll never fear. You could do your thing, then come near. Maybe I'm caught up in the thing that you know I like. See, we can make time, baby, overnight. Or we could make a grand escape, and we can roll high on our break. I'm all about the look that you're giving me. I'm all about the dance moves you're letting free. Well, I'm all about a sweet sound and loving spree. So listen from my melody. Yeah, maybe I'm caught up in the thing that you know I like. See, we can make time, baby, overnight. Or we could make a grand escape, and we can roll high by the way, yeah. And when we come down to yeah, we'll be dreaming safe and sound. You better know why. Baby, that's all I got. When we come down to yeah, we'll be dreaming safe and sound. You better know why. Baby, that's all I got. Baby, that's all I got. Yeah, this is the kind of sound that I wanna hear. Yeah, this is the kind of vibe that I wanna feel. And you're the type of girl, baby, you're the real. Check it one time, what's the deal? Maybe I'm caught up in the thing that you know I like. Yeah, we can make time, baby, overnight. Or we could make a grand escape, and we can roll high by the way, yeah. And when we come down to yeah, we'll be dreaming safe and sound. You better know why. Baby, that's all I got. When we come down to yeah, we'll be dreaming safe and sound. You better know why. Baby, that's all I got. Baby, that's all I got. Baby, that's all I got. We're feeling alright, yeah. We're feeling good, we're feeling alright, yeah. Oh, it's about that time for us to look around and meet somebody new. Well, let's all welcome in familiar faces, perhaps somebody who has a conflict in their life. Alright, tell them you're sorry, but there's ways to change the wrong to right. See, we can sit in a distant haze and watch rain clouds for thoughts of greatness to help our troubles sail real far away. Oh yeah. Well, it's a struggle every day. We're stressing.
You ready, Jerry?
I'm ready.
Just want to make sure you're ready, brother. Show me the money.
Oh, you didn't know?
Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling.
Put
my shoes on, you wouldn't last a mile. Summertime, wintertime, I'm on the grind. Yeah, I got the ring, I'm the champ, I'm the genie of the lamp.
This is the gift I was given, so I just live by my hustle.
My pocket, it don't make sense, but don't make a profit. So I hustle, ladies and homies. Make money, money.
Hold out here for a pill. Really tryna get this money for the real.
I want to find a thing to save my life, so I hustle.
It ain't over for me. No, it ain't over for me.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Okay, let's go smoke that joint.
Are you ready? Think you can tell us what to do? You think you can tell us what to wear? You think that you're better? Well, you better get ready. Bow to the masters. Break it down!
Yo, shout out to the crew. What up, stranger? Shout out to the Houday Nation. Minnesota Marty, let's get ready to smoke it up, bro. Antonio in the house. What up, what up? Yakumania said, what's up, 420 crew? One love, let's get it. And Dennis in the house. Skull. All right. Man, so I don't think Bogey's going to be here today either. Man, he's still, I believe, let me go back and see what update he gave for us, just so everybody knows what's going on with his lady. Let me see. Yeah, she stayed overnight, and they're trying to remove the gallstones, and then yeah, and then I think they're gonna have. Then I think she has to have surgery to get rid of her gallbladder. I think that's what's going on. So hopefully, prayers out to Bogey and his fam. Hopefully everything is going good. Haven't heard much from him in the last couple days, minus a couple updates here and there. What up, Chris Ben? Yakumania said I can sit in for you on the weekends. Holla, yeah, bro. Shoot me a message on Twitter, man. Let's get some collabing going. We do the wake and bakes on Saturday, so we'll be back here tomorrow doing it. If you want to hop on for the smoke sesh, talk some shit. Yeah, for sure. Dennis said thoughts and prayers to Bogey and his family. Yaku said prayers up. Much love, Bogey. Yeah, I mean, it's just scary stuff, man. Anytime hospitals get involved and people got to stay, like, I know a lot of people weren't following me when it like guys who are like in the chat, like literally right now, maybe minus Antonio. But yeah, a couple of years ago, I went to Florida, and was it July, maybe? Yeah, June or July of 2 years ago, 2021, and man, it was all fucked up. I was in the hospital for like 8 days. Like I didn't know whether I was gonna live or die. Like, man, it was this crazy infection that happened on my leg, and it was something that had been happening for like years, and no doctor could figure out what the fuck was going on with me. And then this time they actually did figure it out. So I guess it was a blessing, like in disguise. But I'll tell you, man, I was so fucking scared. Like literally in Florida, just laid up in a hospital for like 8 days. It was bullshit, man. It was bullshit. All right, let's smoke it up. And reminder for everybody who follows the Silver Screen Breakdowns pod, we got a pod tonight, and it always goes down on Friday, 5 West Coast time. We're going to be breaking down Half Baked. Oh, yeah. My favorite stoner classic and yours. Nelly Nell's never seen it before, so it's going to be fun to see his take as someone. I know he partakes, and he's lived in California for a long time, but let's see what he actually thinks of this one. And let's see. Oh, did you guys see in the news? Well, not in the news. I mean, I guess it was really on social media where Jamar Chase was talking shit about Patrick Mahomes, and he was like, Patrick who? Trying to talk shit because he said they got the best QB in the world with Joe Burrow, and then Mahomes and the Chiefs, they had their ring ceremony. They got to unveil their rings, and Patrick Mahomes responds with, "That's who" in the caption, and then 2 rings in there, and then he has the picture of his hand with the 2 rings on it. So he's stunting on fools right now. That is for sure. And we didn't hear a clap back from Jamar Chase after that. Really nothing that you could say after that. Dude's been in the league for 5 years and already got 2 rings, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, all that. And way differently won than any of the Tom Brady, Super Bowls he won in his first couple years. And Yakuza got asked for my homie number 1 pick in Dynasty redraft if he wants JJ. What do we think? Well, if it's a non-super flex league, JJ should be the top pick, all day, every day, twice on Sunday. But if it's a super flex league, it really just depends on the scoring. Because JJ would be one of those guys. But if it's super flex, I'm going with Patrick Mahomes, man. He deserves to be the 101 in Dynasty if it's super flex, because he's going to score more points than anybody else. He's probably going to play longer than most of these skill players that are out there. Justin Jefferson, he'll be a guy who's probably playing into his 30s, but a lot of these guys are not even going to be playing until they're 30 years old. So yeah, Patrick Mahomes, that's who I'm taking 101 in a Dynasty, and have taken him 101 in a Dynasty. He's pretty much gone 101 this year in all of our Dynasties. Last year it was subjective. Year before that, maybe a little bit subjective. I think now people just realize it's Patrick Mahomes, and then there's everybody else for real. All right, but yeah, JJ. We want those Dynasty wide receivers, especially like him, who's only been killing it ever since he stepped on the NFL field. Jamar Chase, very, very close there as well, but we see a little bit hit or miss from his style of play. And he's not really hit or miss necessarily, but we've seen teams blank him out in some games. I guess Justin Jefferson got blanked in some games. Justin Jefferson needs to be hitting those weights this year because, man, he was just getting punked at the line last year a lot of times. And hopefully that's something that he put into his regimen where he's going to start bulking up a little bit so he can be a little bit better versus press coverage, because Okuda completely shut him down last year. And Yaku said JJ is so nasty. Totally agree. Yeah, for sure. Not too many guys are the number 1 wide receiver year after year, because it always changes as people have the actual season, because we draft these guys, then they have the actual season, and then their value lowers or rises. And over the last let me see, what are we in? We're in 2003. So over the last, let's say 6 years, we've seen guys like DJ Moore be the number 1 Dynasty wide receiver drafted when he was 23 or whatever, coming off that good season where he kind of came out of nowhere when everyone thought it was going to be Curtis Samuel. And let's see, DK. At one point DK was the number 1 Dynasty wide receiver, outlook. Justin Jefferson, it's already been, this is his second year of being hands down the top wide receiver drafted in Dynasty. He's probably going to be the top wide receiver drafted in redraft too. He's the man. He's the man. All right. Didn't really have anything planned today because usually it's me and Bogey, you know, just going back and forth with whatever we got going on. But yeah, but he's got to take care of the fam. All right. Okay. Reminder, guys, go subscribe to the podcast, Fantasy Football Hustler and Silver Screen Breakdown. Silver Screen Breakdown videos drop on, or videos and podcasts drop on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and if we have bonus content, it drops on Saturday. And yeah, good time to go check it out. Go revisit Shutter Island that we recorded last week. Go check it out. Super intense movie. And Kevin, what up, bro? What's going down, homie? Let's keep smoking it up. Let me see. I've been working on my rankings here. And I was almost like thinking, should I show you guys how I do like my rank? I mean, really it's just a whole process. Like we got the whole list of like everybody here. And then it's like I take the time to go put in the starters. Then it's like out of them, you know, we figure out who's tier 1, who's tier 2, and all that kind of shit. The QBs is the only one that I had time to actually finish. And I have 8 tiers of QBs, 8 tiers of QBs here. And the crazy thing is that I'm making little changes to I'm making little changes to these now, just because of little declarations that I'm just feeling in my brain. But I just guys that I moved up the list ever since I created it. I moved Jared Goff up the list, and I've moved Kirk Cousins up the list as well. So those are 2 guys that I think are going to reproduce and maybe outproduce last year. And for Patreon members and stuff, what rankings do you think I should do? I should do next. Yeah, what rankings do you think I should do next? So here's my top 12, and you guys can tell me if there's any spoiler alerts here. We got Patrick Mahomes at number 1, and he's in tier 1 all by himself for me. Tier 2 for me is Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, and Josh Allen, and that's the end of tier 2. Tier 3, Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence. Only those guys are in tier 3. Tier 4, I got Watson, Cousins, Tua, Lamar, and Dak. I got them. Those are my tier 4 guys. Tier 5, Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers, Russ Wilson, Kenny Pickett, and Justin Fields. So there's my tier 5 guys. That's all the way up to QB 16. And then it starts falling off a little bit after that. But yeah, I'm really trying to get guys and really in the top 16 or higher. I mean, if I can get my 3 guys out of those, because not everyone's going to have these rankings like I'm going to have them. So, I mean, really, it's not always just about drafting guys based off the rankings. It's about making sure you get the best value based on how you rank these guys. Because, yeah, Jared Goff, I mean, in redraft, he might be going behind Aaron Rodgers and Russ Wilson. So, really just depends. And who's this? Kevin. Personally, I would put Mahomes and Allen in the same tier. Well, see, but people don't do tiers like me. Like I do tiers like way different than anybody else. Like nobody else that I know or that I've seen has 7 tiers of starters of like going through 32. Like that's just different. Like that's why Mahomes is in his own tier by himself. That's why like he's the 101 for me everywhere. Because yeah, the tier 2 guys in my eyes, these are like tier 1 for everybody else. Burrow, Hurts, and Allen. all those guys are in tier 1 of everybody else's rankings except mine. And it's just because I got Mahomes at a tier higher where he just, I mean, above and beyond. I'm drafting Mahomes before anybody else, like no matter what, on the QBs. And people could do their rankings however they like. I just like to deep dive a little bit more into mine is what I like to do. And it's probably not going to be the same for like running backs and wide receivers where the tiers are so small. But I don't know. QBs is one of those positions I feel like I track really well and I do really good on ranking guys. And that's because QBs are so important to the style of leagues that we play in that we just take this shit real seriously with the QBs. PB and waivers in the house. What up, bro? All right. But yeah, let's see. So yeah, I have not worked. Yeah, really the QBs. That's all. I want to the linebackers. That's going to be one of the next ones. I know that I do. I'm got to get that in the mix. And yeah, probably running backs and wide receivers. And I'm assuming this is still Kevin. He said, for me, tier 1 is only Mahomes and Allen. Locked in is my 1 and 2, Burrow and Hurts. Herbert, tier 2, because they can go in any order. Tier 3, Lamar, T-Law, Fields, etc. But see, like, I value Burrow way more than Allen. And, like, why wouldn't we? Like, look at what they did for him. First off, you go and get him pretty much the best left tackle in the game, at least one of the best left tackles in the game. What that guy, I don't know if you know, but Orlando Brown has blocked for multiple MVPs. And one was Lamar, Mahomes as well. And I'm not saying Burrow's going to win the MVP this year, but look at what he has going for him right now. You got one of the best left tackles in the game. You finally improved your line, like tremendously. And you have Chase, fucking Higgins, Tyler Boyd. They retained Joe Mixon, so I don't think their run game is going to fall off. That's why I got Burrow above Allen. And Burrow's my number 2. And Hurts I'd rather have Allen for Dynasty than Hurts. But, like, Allen doesn't have weapons like Hurts has. Like, man, I mean, Allen only has Stephon Diggs. They're not making moves over there to get more and more wide receivers, like, around him. That's the issue there. And he's not running. I mean, well, I guess he is running. I mean, I guess, yeah, I think it's only in our mind that we think that he wasn't running more than before. I just think he wasn't as polarizing running before is what it was. All right, I'm on the clock here. What are we going to do with this now? Oh, I think, this is tough. This is tough. You know what? All right, we're locking in Jordan Brooks because he's going to go sometime soon. Anyways, 13th round. What was that? 12th or 13th round? One of the two. Not too shabby. All right. And it's crazy that you have Herbert as tier 2 over like everybody else and like nobody else in tier 2 besides him. T-Law is going to flirt with 5,000. I'm almost thinking it's crazy. I almost want to bump up Deshaun Watson and Kirk into my tier 2 guys with Herbert and T-Law. Ha! And Crispy said, take Tony. Nope. Come on. And so when I get back to Canton, I get my own camera. I don't know what you use to go live, but I want to start my own football news channel. Anyways, I can go live with you and talk. Yeah, hit me up, dude. I mean, one of the things that I've told everyone is, man, you got to join the crew, officially join the crew. And that's when we start collabing more, man, because I can collab with a lot of people, but I really want to collab with 420 crew members and people who are supporting the community. So yeah, bro, you jump in the crew, you get your camera, and your camera could be your phone. Like, I mean, it just depends on how bad you want it, you know, right? And trust me, bro, there'll be a spot. There'll be a spot for you here. All right. Tag Crispy said, thanks for the buzz. Let's let's enhance our buzz right now. And what up, Hassan? Hassan in the house. Let's roll up, bro. Let's roll up.
All right, fire 'em up! Then your pipe and smoke it. Roll up, fatty. Oh, this pimp daddy.
Let me hear that bong.
Baby.
That bong, 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 bong.
And Hassan said, happy early Father's Day. Appreciate you, bro. Happy early Father's Day to all the fathers out there. It is what's fatherhood? It's damn it, what do they call it? Dang it, why can't I think of the the verbiage? But it's a thankless job being a dad, that's for sure. And I mean, really, I guess it's because of like chivalry, like how, because it was just like it's the man's job to like do this and that, and it's a thankless job for sure. And hopefully, all the fathers in the chat get shown some love, by their family on Father's Day. I know Big Tons, our homie Big Tons, said he got a cool Father's Day present in advance. His kids from, I don't even know what part of the country they're from, but I guess they've never been to his house over here in Nevada. I think he's only gone to them, but he said that they've been hanging out all week, and it was a big Father's Day present for him. That's awesome. Yo, Dion in the house. What up, bro? Let's smoke it up. I'm smoking on some Tahoe OG this morning, and oh man, you smoke on some Tahoe OG earlier. This might be something like as soon as the show goes off, that a little weed nap starts getting kicked into play. But let me try to find a fat ass nug to show you guys this Tahoe. It's so beautiful. Man, look at that. Look at the nug structure. It's like just so perfect. Man, this is awesome. So we're smoking the Tahoe right now, and then now I'm gonna try out some of this strawberry mango haze brought to you by our homies at Redwood Cultivation. Whenever you guys are in Vegas, if you go to any kind of dispensary, like any kind of the big ones, just ask for the strains that are by Redwood Cultivation, because they do strains for cookies, for Tyson 2.0, who else? Cheech and Chong. Like, I mean, they do it for a lot of brands out there in Nevada. And all this shit is primo. And Hassan said, I did enjoy the Xbox showcase, Capcom showcase, and UBI showcase. Nice. Did you go somewhere, or was it just online? And Yaku said, Tahoe OG is for real. Fuck yeah, bro. Yeah, if you ever have a chance to get, I guess that's what sucks too, is like, people throw names on, a lot of different, just like, oh, I got this, let me throw a name on it, type thing. But if you're getting the legit Tahoe OG, like, man, it's just, I mean, you saw what it looked like. It just looks beautiful. And Marty said, got my old man a meat thermometer. Nice. Is he a guy who's always grilling and smoking in the, like, meat smoking in the back? Because yeah, I mean, the meat thermometer really for like when you're smoking, right? When you're smoking meat. And it's a video game showcase. Okay, cool. And Dion said, I got to try it. Bro, you ever come across, I mean, hopefully, things like that make it to Minnesota. I would assume probably not, though. I mean, man, it's, just some of these green thumbs that have been around in California, and they've just been like, just fucking just growing the straight dodo chronic for like 20 years. Like, I mean, it's different, like when people try to come out and duplicate, what these guys have done, because you could take the same genetics, but I mean, there's so much that goes into the process of like actually growing. It's crazy. I might, I know, redwood cultivation, they've been, they're looking for an intern like over there, and the spot, I mean, it's literally only like 10 minutes away from my house. Man, I might do it, like might not get, probably won't get paid for it being an intern, but man, it would be super cool to like learn a lot of these growing tricks from guys who, I mean, shit, guys who are growing some of the best fucking shit that's coming out in the whole state of Nevada. And Marty said, yeah, he's a grill smoker master. Okay, if you ask him, they all are in their own mind. Oh, man. He's like, Arby's, we got the meats. Hassan, do you like fighting and wrestling games too? Yes. I'm more, okay, see, it's crazy because like as a whole, I was more on to the sports games, than anything. But wrestling, that's always for sure been something, games that I've gravitated towards. I mean, shit, the only game that I've played in the last, I don't know, 3-4 years has been Red Dead Redemption 2. That's it. That's it. Just Red Dead Redemption 2. And then before that, I played the South Park game and Grand Theft Auto. So yeah, those were some other good ones as well. And Dion said, yeah, I got a couple buddies already started growing, but yeah, hopefully we get some good danks right when it's legalized. Yeah, for sure. And I guess here's the thing to remember, because this has happened in like every single state. Well, except California, because California is doing it like so much on the black market that like there's just so much good weed around. But pretty much what's going to happen is like all these dispensaries in Minnesota, it's because they're going to be like, whatever date it is, it's usually like the beginning of the year. So maybe it might be the beginning of 2024 for all we know. When people can actually start opening dispensaries and shit, legally. All the good weed is gonna sell out like day one. So it's like, if you want to go there, you got to deal with the lines. But be there day one, because all the good shit is gonna sell out. And I mean, one is to get people to come back to the dispensary. They're buying the best shit. Two, it is really because there's going to be a lack of education on the bud tenders, and they're probably just going to tell them, okay, like these three are like the best, and then they're just going to like push those three or whatever. But yeah, I would make sure that that I would just be a part of the day one wave of dispensaries, because it's probably going to be cool just to be a part of it. And that would be the day that you probably get the best weed out of. You wait a couple days. Like I remember going to Denver, and when it first got legalized, it's 2014, and it's because the Chargers played the Broncos, and so me and my homie flew out there, and it was I mean, shit, the weed like sucked. Like for us, like we didn't, I mean, this is 2014. I was like legit about to go on house arrest like in a couple months, and so I did not want to bring any weed or get in trouble for anything like that on the plane. And but yeah, it was yeah, the weed sucked, and we were just there like what, 2 weeks after like everything opened, and that's what everyone was saying was like all the best weed was gone in day one. Zach in the house. What up, bro? Smoke it up. And Hassan said, what'd you do? It was always weed stuff with me. Just always having too much weed. And Dion said, oh, I'm camping overnight like the old video game releases. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. It's so funny. I don't know what the hell the post had to do with anything, but I saw a social media pic, and it was like, man, these dumbass kids are never going to know what it was like to go wait in line for Halo the night before. And I never got into Halo, but like, man, I know people were fucking insane for those drops. And Marty said, I'm looking forward to get some real carts. Okay. And he said, I don't know what's in these carts on the streets. I mean, yeah, It's fucking crazy, man. Like I get hella nervous with the carts. I mean, people have died from smoking those carts. Like no fucking joke. So like, yeah, I guess I always felt a little bit better being in California, like just because like having to compete with some of the best brands, out there, whether you're on the black market or on the mainstream market. But yeah, man. Yeah, shit. You just never know. Like that's what sucks about this shit. Too many grimy fucking people. Hassan said, I'm gonna have a new house on Wednesday. Nice. Congrats, bro. It's fucking big time. Let's get it. And Zach said cheaper drugs on the streets. There's always cheaper drugs on the streets. Doesn't mean it's better though. Does not mean it's better. Cause man, I mean, there's a lot of people I know who used to try to supply the streets, and they would just have trash. Like I think I've just been so spoiled with good weed, and having the couple connections that I did to be able to get it. Man, I guess sometimes I get jealous of Bogey though. Like, man, the Bay Area, that was just the place for weed. It was like it was coming in so much of abundance because it's being grown. A lot of it outdoors, a lot of it in a lot of shit, but in a lot of outdoor farms and all that. But man, so much abundance of weed comes out of the Bay Area, and it wasn't like that in Southern Cal. Well, at least in San Diego, it wasn't like that, where just like hundreds and hundreds of packs are just available, and people are damn near giving them away. What up, Titans? Titans in the house. What up? He said, "What up, big man? What's going down, bro?" And Zach said that all Mexican brickweed. Fuck, like I'm glad I never needed to dabble. Never needed to dabble. But in San Diego, that was half of the market, right? It was either you were smoking like the dank of the dank, or you were just smoking some Reggie Bush Mexican brickweed, like Zach said. And it was crazy, man, because like, fuck, you're getting pounds of this. You're getting like a pound of like trash brickweed for like, what, like sometimes 200 or 300, like maybe even less, depending on if you got it in bulk. And Yaku said, main weed is for real if you have the reliable source. You gotta have the reliable source, man. And I feel like, well, like here in Nevada, for example, I told you guys about those shows that I would go to, like the underground shows, where it's like vendors from California, vendors from different parts of Nevada, vendors from Las Vegas. Like you pay $5 to get in, and it's usually at some big like warehouse or something. And then everyone's got their booths set up and tables out. Everyone's got all their weed, out, and you're just able to go around, check out all the stuff. And I will tell you, man, like, because there's some people out there who like they think that lack of what is it called? Ignorance is bliss. If you really don't know that good shit exists, you'll just keep smoking bad shit because that's all that's like available. And it's crazy how it's like that in Nevada. Like the locals like smoke straight garbage, like straight trash, and they're happy with it. Buying $50 ounces, and it's like, oh yeah, like I don't even spend above like $50 on an ounce. And then you see the weed that these guys are peddling for $50 an ounce, and it's trash. It's like a step above the Mexican brickweed. And see, look at that, pound for two, $25 for a half. Like, yeah, man. That Mexican brickweed just hella cheap. I could never do it. It would never get me high. Like even back then, like, man, I've been smoking. Like, since I was 17, I was smoking the creme de la creme. And, man, it's, there's no going back at this point. It's got to keep finding better and better weed that's the goal. And that's what's cool about Redwood. Man, that strawberry mango haze is fucking tasty. And Yaku said, my Reggie days are behind me, always willing to pay for quality. Yeah, for sure. And it's like, it's one of those things, like, yeah, I know that a big portion of my budget goes to weed, but it's like, man, couldn't have it any other way, bro. I couldn't even imagine what it would be like just having like crap weed. And actually, I know what it's like having crap weed because for like a couple weeks when we were here, we met someone who was here from Vegas. They're like, oh yeah, we got some good stuff. It's like 160 like an ounce, and like, okay, let's check it out. I already know you get what you pay for, but a lot of the stuff that I was seeing around besides that was like just straight trash, the under $100 an ounces. And like I was getting bored of the dispensary, man. Like I was only going to cookies, and like they were so hit or miss with like actually having like super super top shelf weed. And so we try out some stuff from someone local, and man, that shit is fucking garbage. Fucking garbage. And Yaku said, not me. I've been smoking since 96, smoke a lot of diesel, and I ain't talking sour. Let's get it, bro. Let's get it. And Marty said, what are the top things you look for in bud other than THC? So, I mean, THC, I'm always looking at it, but like that's like trying to think of like an analogy of what I could like apply that to, but like good THC percentage, like it's almost just like standard. Like now when you're looking at some of like the top shelf stuff, I mean, the stuff that I'm looking at, nug structure, are they like tiny little popcorn nugs, or is it like that nug of fucking Tahoe, that I showed you? That's one thing. The smell, that's another big thing. I mean, really like the look of it, like, because I feel like, I mean, the structure is one thing, but then like actually like, zooming in to where you can see it, does it got the crystals on it, a lot of, the smell with the terpenes, like this fucking strawberry mango diesel, like, man, so much terps. Cause like it's only in a Ziploc bag, but it's one of those smell through the bag, baby, like, man, it was in my car for like 10 minutes. And like, I came back in the car the next day and it still smelled like it. Still fucking smelled like it. And hold up, Bogey's calling me. Let's see, hold on a second. All right, Bogey said he's gonna come on, so he's at home with the baby. He said, "There we go." And yeah, so Marty, for me, and the smell is almost more important than the look, because like I think I've told the story about when I first smoked Girl Scout cookies. It was like in 2012. It did not look good, like, but like then we started, you smell it, it's got the smell, and then you smoke it, and it's like, man, like, okay, they got to work on the look of it, but they got the other tools down. I really do like to compare the way, the way we look at weed like a 5-tool baseball player. It's five or six different things that we got to look at. And all right, here we go. Bogey's in the house. Come on, soundboard.
Can you dig it, sucker? Suckers!
All right, Bogey, just giving you a heads up. I did kind of give people updates in the chat of what's going on.
It's all good, man. I love the crew, man. I appreciate you wording them up for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of prayers and a lot of good thoughts coming back from the crew, hoping that.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's like for my girl personally, like she done fucked up a lot of cars by not taking it in for oil changes and this and that and that. And like, so she has these gallstones, and I kind of related to that, where it's like irregular eating habits and lack of exercise, irregular sleep, like all these stuff can lead to like things like this. And like, it's something that's been reoccurring. But when we get older, you kind of have like,
she didn't take
we
herself
got a tolerance for pain. You know what I mean?
She didn't take herself into the dealership for a tune-up, is what you're saying.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And then she kept having, the check light kept coming on, and like she would just get over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in a overnight, and she'd feel better, and then it'd be, but all those times she was like in excruciating pain, she was passing gallstones. You know what I mean?
And
So,
Vanessa told me that her mom had her gallbladder taken out and everything.
Yeah, because I'd say another 100,000 years of human evolution, we won't have gallbladders or appendixes no more because we don't need them. You know what I mean?
I know. Why do we even have these?
I mean, we used to have tails. I mean, it's evolution. You know what I mean? It used to serve a purpose before. You know what I mean? Like, that's when you evolve into developing things or not. Like in Waterworld, the motherfucker had gills, right? Because it had been
Mania said his girlfriend's going through the same thing right now. Bogey said,
Yeah, man. Shout out to Yuku and man. Hope your lady's all right. So the new update with my lady is she's had to been in the hospital the last couple days, and like the thing that sucks is like, she's at a new job. She had a probation period right now, so she don't got actual health insurance. So like we got to go to like a place that accepts the individuals like that, and then it's not the greatest. I mean, there's a reason why you pay top dollar for good insurance or whatnot, because then you get good treatment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like she would get her MRI done, and then it's 8 hours till a doctor comes and sees it. Then the doctor comes and sees it and like confirms it. Yeah, you need a surgery, but your inflammation isn't so bad, so it's not emergency surgery. So we can go through the regular process. Got to remove the stones, which is a procedure. Then she immediately goes to surgery. So today, she's getting the procedure done at 2:45, but she probably won't be home for the next couple of days. So, you know what I mean?
You got to stay there and recover, right?
I mean, yeah, it's like a week recovery, what they say, but I think the discharge is like a day after the procedure or the surgery. Because the procedure, they put like a tube down your shit, and then, they use one of those microscope things or micro camera things, and they remove all the gallstones, you know what I mean? And like, the thing is like, the gallstones, you're in danger of gallstones being moved into the wrong directions, like into the pancreas or into the, covering the bowel, covering the, just obstructing anything. You know what I mean? Like, so she doesn't have any obstruction, which is fucking awesome because that shit, would have been all bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And shout out to Heavy, who's in the chat. He said, "Hey man, first time tuning in since last season. There we go." So I told myself I was going to hold off until August, but here I am. Fuck that, man. Now it's time. You got to get the edge over all those guys who are just coming in August. And he said, "What are we looking forward to most in fantasy this summertime?" Well, the news from OTAs, mock drafts. We're doing drafts. So if you want to get in some drafts with us, $10 best ball divisions, that's going to be a way that you really get a step ahead of your competition, is by getting into some of these best ball drafts. Because I don't know, fuck mock drafts, right? We do a couple of them, but it's all people who are here who we know. You start doing random mock drafts, online with just going on Yahoo or Sleeper Auto, mock, all that shit. You start getting confused because it's not the way that the market really works. But yeah, appreciate you coming back in, Heavy. It's about time to get back in real heavy into fantasy. Let's go. And Yaku said, "I've had stuff that tastes like ass, just not so good on the taste counts. Terp count more important than THC for sure." And I think that THC is just one of those things that it's like a universal, this makes weed good. I just feel like that's the stigma behind THC. And it's not that it doesn't, for sure. It definitely plays a part, but it's not the only part that comes into play. That's for sure. And Office in the house. What up, bro? Said, morning, dudes. I'm stuck on the hybrids lately. Okay. And he said, used for recreation and sleep. I usually chase the THC percentage. Need more terpene education. And I definitely need more terpene education too. But really, the terps is like it's like the flavor. It's like the flavor and like it's the smell. And really, the terps is like it's all these different terpenes that control different things. It's like, have you ever had weed that made you hungry? That was because of the terpenes. Have you ever had weed that like suppressed your appetite and made you not hungry? That's the terpenes. You know, like literally, like everything is involved with the terpenes, and that's like, I mean, I'm even trying to learn more because like when I hear when I go talk to the guy, my contact at Redwood, shout out to the homie Petey. He man, like everything is the terpenes for him, and I like listening to him explain shit is like, fuck, man. Like, do I even smoke weed? Like, listen to this motherfucker talk about it. Like, he knows his shit, you know? And yeah, it is crazy. It is all about the terpenes. And because most good weed is just gonna have good THC percentage anyways. And I feel like if it's over 20%, that's a good percentage of THC, and then the rest is really gonna have to come into play. I mean, because I've had weed that the THC is in the 30s, and then we have weed where the THC is in like the mid or high 20s, and like, you know, maybe the terpenes was probably better on the 20% stuff because like those were some of the ones that I liked a little bit more. But it's definitely a case by case basis, that's for sure. We just had a pick in the 23. It's Canada Marty who's on the clock right now. All right. Let's see. Yeah, Yakuza. Good news. Women are way tougher than guys. She'll be all right, brother. There we go. And sorry I didn't get to read that out when he was here. An Office said, care credit is cool for healthcare. Loan for 6 months, no interest. Okay, I use it for dental emergencies, even vet bills. Okay.
Okay, look at this.
And Yaku said, good news is that women are tougher than guys. She'll be all right, brother.
I mean, she didn't pop out. Listen, you know what's crazy is that it's been the last couple months. She been like, she'll be like, it became a thing. Like, oh, I'm getting those pains again. Like, oh, okay. And then like it started getting crazy when she couldn't lay down. Before she would have the pains and she would go lay down. You know what I mean? And go to sleep. Yeah. It'll go away. Then it'll be like she's walking around. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I can't lay down. It hurts. And that is the number one symptom when you have gallbladder infection or gallbladder stones or whatever, you know what I mean? That you can't lay down, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, so anyways, that was actually my girl that called me right now, and the motherfucking the insurance called her because she had applied to Medi-Cal long time ago, like when we moved from San Ho to here. Yeah, you know, we got the kids signed up because, you know what I'm saying, the moment she resigned from her other job, the insurance for the kids, all that shit went up. I got Medi-Cal, so it was nothing. Bam, the kids get Medi-Cal. And she signed up too, but it said it would take like 30 to 45 days for her.
Yeah.
And then so the fucking finance person came in because, you know, they're about to do all the procedure today. And she was like, girl, she's like, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but you're gonna be all right. She's like, because of the economy and all this shit, she's like, they'll take care of it. She's like, but there's also something called instant Medi-Cal, and since my girl already tried to sign up and she's in that fucking that grace period or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, they said they'll expedite it. So I mean, this might be like that phone call we're waiting for. You know what I mean?
That's good because man, I mean,
because we just bought a house and we're going broke and we're in between shit, and like this, like a procedure and surgery probably be like 60 bands. You know what I mean? Like, this is real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I went through with my second child.
These medical bills, bro. Man, I still get the things from like all the things in Florida, all that.
Oh, okay.
Like,
yeah, they try to find you. It'll go to
like,
collections in like a year. It was like 2 years.
Not the doctor shit. Like, it's only because I went to the emergency room, like out there, and yeah, the emergency room shit they can't go to collections. But like, but I've got like these other damn, what the fuck are they called? So not the doctor, but whoever they called, like specialists and shit. Like those are the ones that'll like go to collections.
Yeah, because
I've already got some letters about
they don't work for those hospitals technically. You know what I mean? When
Exactly.
you're like my girl, she had to go to a whole different hospital last night where she is now, right? For the procedure because they didn't have a specialist that does the GI like all the gastric shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So she had to go to one, you know what I mean? Then when she gets surgery, she gonna have, what up, Peacock?
Yeah, see, and the office said it right here. America's medical system is a scam, third world shit. I mean, because it's all about.
And then you go to Canada.
The whole country of Canada have free medical insurance, but we don't down here, and we're supposed to be the land.
And you know what's crazy though? See, Canada. Look at so let me get this straight. Canada, it's free healthcare, but if you have like, outstanding warrants, like bench warrants for speeding tickets, type of shit. Or like, unpaid child support, or you're just a felon in general, they will not let you into Canada. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's funny. One of these dudes, one of my friends that I knew, he fucking takes like this road trip, like up to Canada, like from San Diego, right? Like going on his loan. He's hitting up all these weed spots on the way, and he's like telling me like all this cool shit before cameras and all that. He calls me after he gets turned away at the Canada border. Like, he's at the Canada border, and they're like, sir, we're going to have to ask you to turn around and vacate.
Get the fuck out of our country.
I mean, I tried not to fucking laugh at him because that's like he drove all the way from San Diego to Canada. This is like a multi-day. Like,
was he going up through Vancouver? Like, did he go through Washington? And
I'm pretty sure. I mean,
or did he go East Coast? Like, or like Midwest,
he went
up towards like Michigan.
He pretty much
through Michigan.
He pretty much took the 5 freeway. I don't know if you
all
guys
the way up
in the Bay, but yeah, the 5 goes from like the tip of Mexico to the tip of Canada, pretty much.
See, I didn't know the 5 goes all the way up that far because I've never took. I mean, I might have took the 5 last time I went to Humboldt. Who knows? That was like 15 years ago. So I you know what I mean? It's a little shaky on the roads I took, but I know like out here there's a 5 exit like down the street from me. To jump on the 5 and go, to and fro. You feel me?
Yeah. What up, Heavy? Yeah, like, said any tips for getting into the Scott Fish Bowl? Scott Fish Bowl is one of those ones. After the 1 year that I was in it, I kind of just refused to sign up or plan it again because it wasn't fun. There was hella gatekeeping, and like I don't know, like it's really just it's his fucking thing.
I think it's cool if you're like an aspiring like. Fantasy content creator because then like
because when I was an aspiring fantasy content creator,
it's like a look, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a look. You feel me? Like, oh shit, I'm in a Scott Fish. So is my whole fucking channel, and so is my whole, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you guys are in a Scott Fish, me too. What division you in? You know what I mean? It's like it's a social thing, but like I don't do things for free because my time is money. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't fuck with the Scott Fish. I did it 1 year, 2019 or the first year I ever did podcasting. Yeah, and I shot an email, and then I shot like I want to say like I don't know, 12 and like a dozen entries, and I got in, and then like after that I was like, you get the invite or whatever.
Yeah, you got to go sign up at the Scott Fish Bowl. Like, if you're not signed up at the Scott Fish Bowl like website, you'll never get in.
Yeah.
So if you really want in, go do that.
And that's how I got in too, because somebody was posting the link on IG, like, oh, y'all the prestigious Scott Fish.
The secret is
fantasy content since 2014, and I had been hearing about this shit since then. You know what I mean? The Scott Fish Bowl, and then I just didn't think it was accessible to regular people. And then once I was like, oh shit, we can get in this thing, I was in that thing. And that shit was so fucking whack. I didn't even know how to use the waivers or none of that shit. Like after week 1, I chucked it. I didn't even fuck with it.
It sucked. I made the playoffs and then I had no idea how to check scores. Like
it was crazy.
Yeah.
And then like there's also like hella problems with the system all the time. Like, during the draft, during August, if you're drafting, it's hella terrible. Like it crashes all the time. Like I mean, maybe they fixed a bunch of those stuff. Either way, I just think it's whack. It's not for money. If it was for money, I'll join a draft.
You got to just be on. If you really want to get in, you got to sign up on the Fishbowl website, and you got to be on Twitter, just like paying attention to people.
Because they give away spots too all the time.
Yeah, and I mean, they're trying to, I mean, pretty much what they do is because the people who don't keep getting in it are like, I don't know, people who are like in it and don't donate or like whatever.
The hers.
That's where the gatekeeping kind of that's where the gatekeeping kind of comes in, because like if you're not donating to this free league, you know, like you're probably not going to be in it like time and time again. And but yeah, you got to just be around it. And said it does seem like a lot of people.
I'd rather root for my man's Peacock anyway. You know what I mean?
Look at this. See, and heavy. All right. See, that's why I like the people who fuck with us. It does seem like a lot of people just do a screenshot the email acceptance for the Twitter likes for sure. Like it really is. We're like, I made it to the Scott Fish Bowl. I give me some clout now.
Can you name me one person who's won the Scott Fish?
Not one person. They never. How come there's so much content about everything leading up to it? There's never any content after the season starts. Never any content about who won the Scott Fish Bowl. Like, how much content do we put out about all these leagues that we're doing because we're actually having fun playing in these leagues?
You know, if I was to win the Scott Fish, I will demand they change the name to the Bogey Fish Bowl or the Scott Fish Free or something. They're changing it. It's
and
like
I like
Bogard,
that. Said, fuck the Scott Fish Bowl, I take it back. He said, fuck the Scott Fish Bowl, I take it back.
But I will say, though, if you join it and you win, we'll represent you because we just like taking credit like that. You know?
Yeah, look at like Peacock. I mean, we're always rooting for Peacock. He's been in it for the last couple of years. And they say going on year 3, but the format is fucking whack and it's on MFL, worst platform ever. See, that's another thing too. Is like you got to deal with playing on a fucking whack ass platform. Like that's.
Hey, what do they call it? An anagram? I read MF. I mean, they say MFL. I read FML. You know what I mean? Because that's how I felt when I was trying to figure out this Scott Fish.
Yeah.
I was like,
heavy. Trust me. The tournament that I'm putting together, the Hustler Best Ball Tourney, we've been going for 3 years strong. This year, we're gonna have more teams in it than we've ever had. We're already drafting.
I mean, we already have more than we had the past 2 years.
Yeah, we're almost double the amount of teams that we've had last year, and we're not even into July yet. The last 2 years,
we already have last year and the year before that combined, right? Like as far as entries.
Yeah, for sure. Because last year it was like 250, and they're 252, and the year before that it was like 120.
This one is for American greenbacks. You know what I mean? Bluebacks, whichever one you prefer.
$10 entry. So I know, Underdog, they do $20 entry on theirs. And at least from what we have it right now, I have all the payouts and everything based on 50 divisions, but we're going to redo those numbers the higher and higher that we get. Our goal is at least 69 divisions.
69, dudes!
And we'll settle for 55 if that's what it came to. But the goal is 69 leagues.
Yeah, I mean,
and more. The goal is really 100.
Yeah, we still have July and August, 2 months now, I mean, look, guys like Heavy, guys who were, not really in the dynasty world just yet.
They popping up right now, huh?
They're about popping up right now.
They popping up.
And let's see, and Peacock said it right there. My fantasy league, blah.
I got the tree on the way.
Devo, what up? What up? He said, Bogey, good to see you, bro.
Hey, what up, Devo?
Exactly.
I'm glad to be seen. You know what I mean?
And he said, y'all was talking about weed while I was in a drug test place.
That's funny. You got to turn it off. He's like, hold on, let me turn this off.
I got to turn this down a little bit. About to start triggering.
I mean, okay, listen, man, we've talked about this several times. Like, it's so crazy because there was always ways to escape those P tests. You know what I mean? Like, ways to disguise the urine and whatnot. And like, I remember this one time, so the place is Tesla now, right? So before it was Tesla, it was called Numi. And they were building like Toyotas and Lexuses, and they were even building the early Teslas too. But before Tesla just bought Elon bought the whole thing out, right? I worked there for like 4 months, and I was a temp. And then they're like, oh, you're about to get the job, bruh. They're about to offer us a word. But then, and when they offer to you on the spot, they send you on location to go take a piss. You know what I mean? And it's the morning. I walk in
there while you were a temp worker.
Listen, I walk into the joint, and they're like, "Hey, bro," they pull me to the side, and they already worded me up that they're gonna give me the job. You know, the other manager, because the manager happened to be close with my cousin, who was another manager there and whatnot. So he's like, "Hey, bro, they're gonna hire you." Word? Yeah. And I come in the next morning, and they're like, "Hey," they pull me to the side. "Hey, you know, we're gonna offer you the job. This is and that." Because this was like the last week. These other fools, like, we're all gonna be done. You know what I mean? With our time.
Yeah.
And the dude was like, "Hey," he's like, "So go fill this out. You know what I mean? And you're gonna take it to the whatchamacallit, those little portables like on site, like outside, right?
Yeah.
Of the building." He's like, "Yeah, you go over there and then you get your urine test and this and that." And I'm like, "Shit, man, I just took a shit in the piss right now, bro. Like, can I go when I need to pee?" And he's like, yeah, that's cool. So I fill out the thing, and while I'm filling, I'm just texting, "Hey, everybody, like whoever the fuck," I'm texting everybody, "Go get me, go to one of the fucking joints for me and get me something." You know what I mean? And I was asking for Rapid Clear because I had used that a number of times before. Or it was called Natural Clear. That's what it was called.
Okay.
And it was a drink. You know what I'm saying? You drink that shit, then it was hella thick and nasty, and you
Yeah.
fill that with water, drink the whole thing, then you do it one more time. And then for 5 hours, your piss is covered. Yeah. So then, you know what I'm saying? And then my boy, he comes through within the hour. Boom, I got you. I'm like, hell yeah. I told him I'll give him some tree or whatnot. So boom, he shoots through, gives me the joint. I drink the thing, and then you have to wait an hour, and then you're covered for 5. So now before lunch, so the guy goes, "Hey, did you go take your piss test yet?" I'm like, "No, I'm gonna go at lunch or before lunch." And that way I can leave a little early and beat everyone to the trucks, right? Because that's how I used to do it anyway. So I go and I pee, and then the next day I come in, they say, "Hey man, we're letting you go." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, man, it showed that you try to cover it. It showed like something popped up in your piss, like it's one of them things." Because then now they're detecting the things that cover it.
Yeah.
So just based on that, there were no drugs in there or nothing, but based on the fact that now I'm covered in something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't. And the temp job was up too, so you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, fuck. But it's funny how it works out because there I met this guy named Jude, Filipino cat. You know what I'm saying? He just walked by me. It just, you know what I mean? And I just smelled good. You feel me? He's like, "Hey, where's it at?" And then he had a van, so we just go to his van and toke. You know what I'm saying? And when I hopped in his van one time, he had an amp and all kind of like basses and guitars and shit. I said, "Oh, will you get down?" And he got down with everything. He was a one-man band.
Nice.
He was so happy he met me because he was trying to record an album. You know what I mean? He had been in America for about 6 years. He plays every fucking instrument, and he had an old like 2-tracker, you know, or a 4-tracker, which is like a mini disc Sony thing. And so like you would, and when I say 4 tracks, you had 1 track. You had 4 different tracks. So I could have 1 track for my vocal, 1 track for my guitar, 1 for my bass, 1 for my drums. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, so he managed to record songs just being limited to that. So I told him, I said, "Hey, we could do all that digitally at my studio. You could have your lead guitar, your complementing guitar. You could have, you know what I mean? And the ideas were already flowing. So then, boom, like next thing you know, he's working at this joint, making money so he can spend it all at my studio. You know what I mean? So it's like I had the job, but not. You know what I mean? Because that first couple of months, he was spending thousands of dollars with me.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hours.
For 6 years, right?
It's tedious work when you're actually recording, like, you know, instrumentation. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And I said, and he'd been waiting for like 6 years at least, right, to like do some shit.
So imagine that he has an entire album, and they're all recorded in his 4-track version, but now he's gonna redo it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there's even some where like he loved the vocals of how he did it. And I'm like, it's kind of shitty sounding. It's like poor quality recording, but I made it happen. You know what I mean? Like, fuck it, we'll transfer these vocals into the Pro Tools program, and I'll spruce it up as much as I can. And then so like one of my cheat codes was I would put a fucking you play guitar, but then when you make it electric, right? It's because you're putting a what is it called? You're putting it through an amp. You know what I mean? And you're what is it? There's this. I mean, it's a fucking filter. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's a distortion. There you go.
Okay.
So you could make it sound distorted.
Yeah.
But you can also do that to the vocal. So it sounds like Rage Against the Machine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, or like the DX song. That's what
Right.
they did on the vocal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're that guy who does the DX shit. He's like a Rage Against the Machine like copycat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he has the dreads and he's like, you know what I mean? He has the dookie locks and he has the kind of rock rap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the longest, I thought that was Rage Against the Machine that did the DX intro.
Yeah. See, look at this shit. Office said that's interesting. He said, I've never heard about a fish winner. He said, I smell a conspiracy. If you won the Scott Fish Bowl, does anybody in here who knows about it? I would be
remember one time. Hey, check this out. This is funny. One time it was AJ. Shout out to my son. AJ was on with us, and I was like, he was so excited about the Scott Fish last year. Remember that? And he would always reference the Scott Fish team during the season and throughout the season. And I said, man, who the fuck even wins the Scott Fish? He goes, my boy won it last year. I was like, what? He said the dude that he does content with won it last year.
Which also smells like a story. Because, like, I don't know. Like, if I won the Scott Fish Bowl, I would be bragging about that any chance.
AJ told me, you know what's crazy? AJ told me that guy died like a week later.
No way.
No, I'm just making that up. But I'm just saying, it would have added to the conspiracy, right? When he won the Scott Fish.
Look at what it's really all about, man. This is about getting donations to their charity, which you know, no way that they donate 100% of the donations that come in.
You know,
and how come there's a whole merch line around this shit? Like it's all
and
about
the merch go to them. It's not like does the proceeds go to something?
I mean, I don't know. Any kind of charity league, like any kind of charity league for me is just a red flag.
Is that why they call it Scott Fish? Because you know what we call fish? People that you like
his last name is just Fish. That's why.
You want to find schools of fish. You know why? Because fish are the ones that just give up the bread.
Yeah.
We're always going fishing too. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You know what's funny is I mean, even though I don't follow Scott Fish on Twitter, I always fucking see his posts because everybody, like all the people that I follow like it and all that shit. And Antonio said not all charity leagues, because for our man Stu, I mean, shit, we raised over $1,000 for Stu, and I think for his organization. There we go. It's not just a charity; it was a whole organization.
That $1,000 it got divvied up into various.
They didn't even raise 10,000 throughout. They didn't even raise 10,000 throughout the year. So that means our league like accounted for more than 10% of what his organization raised for the whole year. Like they donate to Toys for Tots, which, you know, nothing bad about, you know, anything like, you know, donate to who you're going to donate to. Toys for Tots, I mean, shit, like millions upon millions upon millions. We actually,
you know, I can't help but think it's like, if you had $10,000, right? What if you went and like you could buy like really nice toys, or you can buy like you know, like it's the quality over quantity, right? You can buy quantity and still buy it cheap. Yeah, are they using all the bread? I don't know. You know what I mean? I've always been the Give Me Money Network, and I was just transparent. And you've always been the Hustler Network, and you've been transparent. And you know what I'm saying? We're out here. We are trying to get money, just like everybody else in the world. And I think the understanding of that is what makes the crew fucks with us real tough. You feel me? Because, you know what I mean? The other people are trying to disguise it and not be transparent when it's like, what if they said, hey, we are donating to Toys for Tots, but of course, bro, I'm about to make like 100 bands this summer. My name's Scott Fish. You know what I mean? Like,
their goal
would people still be all about that? You know what I mean? Like,
their goal was is 200,000 in donations, and that's not even counting like all the merch or like anything like that. Are they donating $200,000?
I tend to not get got. I tend to not get got by people like that. And even like when there's somebody that like I thought was cool, like Iggy, and he had some $25 charity. When that shit, I remember when you and him bumped heads, and he immediately removes me too. I hit him up like, hey yo, don't make this difficult and just give me my money back. And literally, within that minute, he what's your Venmo? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
it's not you, bro. It's you know. I'm like, listen,
oh man,
you removed me, bro. I had a good ass team. I was one of the better records. I'm like, you would remove me for no fuck. Just give me my fucking money.
Bro, heavy. This is something we've talked about multiple times. He said, what's the biggest red flag? The charity league or the NFT league BDGE dropped last year? That's what I said. If
But
it would have
see,
been
you know what's crazy is
doing
he
an
was
NFT
transparent about a lot of it, though. You know what I mean? Like transparent about there's no money that comes back to you guys in any way. Only thing that comes back to you is this NFT. And he had to be
no, because there's supposed to be a lot of prizes like that.
Oh,
Not money, but like if you fly out to New York, you could just go hang out, at the BDGE, fucking what office, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They were supposed to be going to some big like games, and it was like if you did really good, you were supposed to go to these games.
When I first started watching this dude stuff, it was back in 2015. Because 2014,
he is the reason why I'm doing content, because I always felt like he sucked.
Yeah, me too. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, and here's the thing: it's because I was finessed in the beginning, in the sense that when I first started watching his content, I said, "Man, this guy makes it really easy. He just puts the camera on. He's just in this room, and he's reading off PFF and Pro Football Reference joints, and it made him sound really smart. And then I started realizing he keeps talking about PFF, and so does footballers, and then they keep talking about Pro Football Reference and stuff like that. And then like I found out that PFF was the one you had to pay for. So instead of using Pro Football Reference, which was free, I just started using PFF. I was like, man, this is what they're talking about now. And then it was like, then it became super preposterous of what they were saying. Like, man, these motherfuckers are just reading shit. But then I started realizing, oh, I like the way Andy uses PFF, because he will come up with a cockamamie ass take that isn't gonna come true because he sucks, right? Andy Holloway to me, right? But he'll find something in PFF to support his cockamamie claim. You know what I mean? Like something that is fucking something that jumps out when you look at advanced analytics and you're like, oh, look at it. Like, for example, there's ways it could be skewed. So I had the PFF guy on one time, and I asked him, I said, when you look at the advanced analytics, what is your favorite metric that that you use that translates well in fantasy? And he said, it's the clean pocket. You know what I mean? And the completion rating in a clean pocket. So he was saying and this was going into 2021, right? And he was like, look at Danny Dumbass. He didn't say Danny Dumbass, but he said Daniel Jones, right? He was like, look at Daniel Jones. His completion rating was super higher outside the pocket when he was scrambling to make plays. But when he had a clean pocket and he was in the pocket, ass. You know what I mean? I was like, wow. I was like, I never thought of that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Then you have someone like Joe Burrow. His completion rating was higher under pressure, but his completion rating was above league average still.
That's still good.
So it was like, wow, this kid is awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because he was even better under pressure. And that was a stat that came out of college that was crazy for him. He had the highest completion rating ever for a QB under pressure, the highest QBR. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that shit immediately translated to the Bengals because they were the Bungles when he got there. That line was super ass, still kind of bad. Maybe not this year though with Orlando Brown, and that's why Joe Burrow for MVP.
We were talking about this earlier, and I was talking about my QB rankings and how I break down my tiers for QBs different than most other people break them down, because I got Patrick Mahomes in a tier all of his own, and then
I'll put Joe Burrow in that tier with him.
I won't see in some May
because of the weaponry. Like Mahomes is Mahomes. Whoever he has, Kelsey, and it don't even matter who else, right? Everybody else is complimentary. But I'm talking about the fact that the best tandem of receiver in the game is hands down to me the Chase Higgins. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and Burrow's my number 2, and he's at the head of tier 2. But for most people out there, I'm sure they don't even break up the top 4. Like those are usually just tier 1 guys.
And then you know what? I'll put the Allen and Hurts in their own.
What up, Zeb?
I'll put Allen and Hurts in their own because they're an extreme high upside of both worlds, rushing and passing volume. So,
and our homie Kevin, he said that he would put Josh Allen, just where you said you'd put Burrow in the tier with Mahomes. It was that for him. Allen's number 4 for me this year, which is still great, but still I don't have him as top 2 like a lot of people have.
I have him 4 too because I think arguably the second best duo of weapons Maybe
And
third, because I think Jefferson and Addison might work their way up into being like one of them combos. You know what I mean? But like AJ Brown, and Slim Reaper. You know what I mean? Plus
yeah.
they got a trio over there. They got Goddard. You feel me? So
I mean, that's why I have Tua so high, and like I have Tua at 9, right behind Deshaun Watson and Kirk Cousins, and right above Lamar and Dak.
Who's this?
Tua.
Oh yeah. I think I'll never argue where anyone puts Tua. I think he deserves to be high because when I rank, I'm ranking like they finna play the whole season, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're not ranking based on how like we think someone's gonna get injured or whatever.
Yeah. Where you got except for like a Kyler Murray, he'll never be in the top 12 or like top. You know, it's 18 for me. It's 16, maybe, or 17. Yeah, I won't have him in my top 18 because I assume he's missing time. You know what I'm saying?
You said you won't have him inside the top 18?
Yeah, I'll probably have him like 9. Like because
right where you were saying you were like,
I don't even know how many games he's gonna play, bro. Like they could be so bad, they're like, don't even come back for this year, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I have him as number 17 right now.
See, there you go. That's too high, bro.
Yeah, he's at the top of my tier 6 guys, and here's tier 6 for me.
Where you got Mac Jones?
27.
27. Okay.
Right behind Brock Purdy and right above Baker.
It's crazy because I feel like he's gonna if he plays all 16, he's like 4th wow and like 25. You know what I mean?
I mean,
I guess that's the range. I guess that's the range. That's the range, though.
Yeah, I feel like
4,000 yard passes. Like, I mean, how many did we have last year? You know what I mean? We had a good amount of them motherfuckers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there always is. Man, you know who I'm really high on, like as of late, and just like even more and more, Kirk Cousins, man.
Yeah, yeah. Remember when that day of the draft when they drafted Addison? I remember because we weren't covering day 1, were we?
I think.
We were covering day 1. Yeah. But I was on with Gucci. I went on with Guccini. That's right. Yeah. So when I was on with Guccini, right? I remember I was like, bro, he's about to be a 5,000 yard passer finally. You know what I mean? Like they're a pass first team. You know what I'm saying? They got Jefferson, Hawkinson, Addison. This is, you know what I mean? Come on.
They made their running game worse to say for the bottom line, you know, like to save the money. And they did not improve their defense at all. It only got worse.
I mean, they improved it by bringing in Brian Flores, maybe. You know what I mean? But personnel wise.
I mean, the only new addition that I can think of off the top of my head
Marcus Davenport.
But you get rid of
Murphy.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you get rid of Kendricks, you get rid of Tomlinson, you get rid of Za'Darius Smith. It's like they got rid of so many fucking pieces.
Yeah, Patrick Peterson. There. Okay, so now look at the replacements.
Patrick Peterson, that was huge.
They bring over Byron Murphy, right? Instead of Tomlinson.
That's huge. I keep forgetting about Murphy, but that is fucking huge.
That's huge.
Because he's way better than Peterson. Like
he was like a top 3 last year. He was like number 3 or something like that, and like completion.
Yeah, can he be an island? Like if he could be an island over there, that might make it a lot easier for Flores, you know, because that was one thing about the Jets defense that Rex Ryan talked about. It's way easy when you can put one person on the side of the field and you don't have to worry about that side of the field at all.
And look at what he's always had, right? What Brian Flores, when he was with New England, he had Stephon Gilmore and young J.C. Jackson, right? Then now look at when he goes to Miami, he has Xavier Howard. You know what I mean? They even brought in Byron Jones for what that's worth because they needed like just a guy who's like a number 1 on a different team, but to play number 2. You know what I mean? And then now he has. So then first thing they do is they trade for Byron Murphy, or did they pick him up or trade from him? They picked him up.
Yeah, was
just for
yeah,
the
they
sake
didn't
of it.
trade for him. He was a free agent. Yeah, it was the end of
Hit the pick him up drop.
Pick him up!
And then now Brian Flores, he over there with Minnesota. So they got Brian Murphy. They bring in Marcus Davenport instead of Tomlinson.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna see what
Davenport,
Brian Osimo.
Davenport, I think, is a more Zendarius Smith because Tomlinson's the interior. They didn't do shit for the interior.
That's right. Well, because Tomlinson, he did play like outside line. I mean, he would play off the edge too. Sometimes that's why he had the dual designation. You know what I'm saying? And Yahoo even too. But anyways, yeah. You're right though. He predominantly plays in the inside. So you got Davenport replacing. Then you got Kendricks being replaced by Osimo.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see what Lewis Sign do. Still got Harrison there, which is awesome because like he's just gonna like lace game. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he still makes plays. It's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, Kirk, I think he's gonna be one of those guys. If having him as my QB2 in a lot of places, I think.
You want to know why I can't get him up no higher than like 7 or 8?
Well, I mean that's why I have him at number 8.
Yeah, but you want to know why I can't get him no higher than that?
Well, I mean, it's T-Law and Herbert that's higher than that, right?
No, but I'm just saying, though, based on this theory and him going 5,000 and say he throws for 40, like, right? Like, that's the ceiling that I think he has with these type of weapons. But it's because he has 5 primetime games, bro. You know what I
mean? But you know what? What if his
primetime Kirk, no.
What if his primetime games start turning into like, a Jameis Winston?
Well, okay, you know how he started rocking
big ass greasy pick, but multiple picks.
I like it.
But he's still gonna throw for 300 and a couple touchdowns.
Here's another thing I like about Kirk. He's starting to rock all his jewelry nowadays, and they got him a watch, bro. They got him a Richard Mille. You know what I'm saying? And the time is always wrong on it, so he doesn't even know he's in prime time, bro. That's how they're gonna try to trick him this year. That's just stupid.
Because what if the primetime games are in a dome? You can be tricked, right?
You put a blindfold on them and you walk them into this motherfucker.
Kirk, we're just gonna drive you every these specific games. We're gonna get a stretch limo for you with tinted windows.
Kirk, I'm just gonna tell you to you straight. This is Kevin O'Connell, right? Kevin O'Connell's like, listen, Kirk, I remember you back all the way back in Washington, right? You just suck in primetime, bro. Okay, I gotta let you know, all right? We're gonna spin you around 8 times, and we're gonna put a blindfold on you. We're gonna walk you in, and everyone's gonna say it's 3 o'clock. Okay?
That shit's funny. You know what I heard is when Rivers his last year playing for the Chargers when they were in LA, man, it was crazy. They said he bought one of those Mercedes, those big ass Mercedes like vans or whatever.
Yeah, big ones. The Sprinters.
He bought one of those, and it was like his command center, and he would be leaving however many hours before the game. And he's studying all the tape and doing everything in there. Like, man, he was riding in style. That's
pretty cool, man. He got it. But you know what, though? You look at it, you go, oh, he's riding in style. And then, like, he has the bolo tie on. You're like, oh, come on.
Yeah, it wasn't helping him much. But, I mean, riding in style's fucking, yeah.
I remember one time, right? Early, like, it was probably like 3 years ago now. And I was like, so, did you, so you used to be a Chargers fan. I said, back in 2013, but did you wear a bolo? You're like, fuck no.
I've always hated Rivers. I was mad when they drafted him because
I mean, you were a Breeze believer. Yeah, you're right to.
Yep. Who got the fucking Super Bowl? And yeah, man, it was supposed to be Breeze and LT like on the same team for like. Could you imagine those guys on the same team for 10 years? The damage that they could have done, and man, they just fucked that all the way up.
Breeze probably loved it too because he was taller than him, like clearly.
Because like they could have gotten a huge haul for. Well, no, they did. They already did get a huge haul for Eli. Because they still like traded Eli or whatever. Because the Chargers, it was either
Eli was like screw. It was all of them, huh? Archie too.
Yeah,
like,
it was
listen,
his
my
dad.
son will not play for the Chargers.
But they ended up getting like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 picks for like Eli. And like if they would have and that was to get the number one to get the 102.
That was to get 2 Super Bowls.
Well, that was to get the 102, like as well. That's what's crazy. Like they could have still traded back that 102, got another big haul, you know, for this pick. And like, yeah, and this was before Breeze even got hurt. Like that's what's crazy. Like Breeze got hurt.
So they could have traded down when they traded down. They could have
traded down
again. They didn't have to get the QB. They had Breeze.
Yeah.
But they went and got the bolo tie rocking, clean cursing son of a gun, Phil Rivers.
And fucking and the worst thing that they did, you know, that LT walked for nothing. Like if you were just gonna let LT walk, they could have traded him for like 3 first-round picks, like at the time after that 31 touchdown season and all that. Like he still went for years before he fell off. Like
you know, Tomlinson's story, Brett. It's kind of metaphoric that he kind of walked like a free man, right? Because the reason he has the name Tomlinson, right, is it goes back to his ancestors, like in Texas, right? They were slaves, but the family that quote unquote owned them, the Tomlinsons, right? They loved this particular group of slaves. They treated them like family. They had them in a house on the thing, you know what I'm saying? And they ate in the big house and all, you know what I mean? But anyways, and then so when they got freed, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They asked them, they bestowed upon them the Tomlinson name. Said, hey, we love you guys. We want you guys to carry our name. You know, they could have been like, screw that. But they actually did carry the name.
And to go get the backstory, it's the NFL life, right? On LT.
Yeah. And then like, remember he goes back to the joint and he talks to like
the great grandson.
Yeah, the equivalent of him, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a white dude. And you know, he was taking him on the land, the plantation or whatever it was, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And remember Thompson, LT, he broke down, he was crying, he was like, damn.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
and Crispy said, "I'm praying for my daughter-in-law." I didn't read it out.
Thank you, Dad.
I'm about to reach to the screen and slap your ass if you don't give Bogey my messages.
Man, thank you, Dad. Really appreciate you, man. Love y'all for real, man. Yeah. Love all y'all, man. Like, I wanted to jump on yesterday too when I got home, just to like get my, you know, because like I do things to get, you know, as they say, time kind of like, you know, helps pass things, you know what I'm saying? Or time heals all wounds is what they say. So and it's not me, it's my lady. So that's, you know, and shout out to our man Lee and shout out to Catherine because she's doing great now. And it is crazy when, like, you know, when your significant other is going through some shit and it's like, it's not like I would have to be a doctor or otherwise there's no other way I can help her in this situation. So like feeling the helplessness is crazy, but like, you got to stay positive. You got to like, you know what I'm saying? And that first day, like, was kind of, well, I was kind of out of my mind yesterday too because I didn't have no sleep. And when I left Playmakers to go, I was in a Playmaker mindset. You know, I'm on hella shrooms. I'm a couple beers in, and I gotta go to the thing. And what was crazy is like when we were in the emergency room, when she got called in to the waiting room, they're like only potential patients can wait. So I was like, fuck. So, but I was kind of like, all right, you know what I mean? I gotta go to the car now.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in the car for like 3 hours, like fucking just kind of, you know, coming down, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just trying not, because laws of attraction is real. I strongly believe in that. And I'm just trying to keep a clear head and not manifest the shit. You know, I'm always manifesting the good shit. You know what I mean? But it tends to work both ways. So you just can't, that's why you never really hear me be too pessimistic. I'm more so rationally thinking than anything. You know what I mean?
And Zeb said, Irv Smith, Higbee, Hayden Hurst, Dynasty. Who do you guys like? None of them, but I guess I'll go with
I'll take Irv.
Yeah.
I'll take Big Irv.
Yeah.
Just because he might get like a touchdown or 3. You feel me? Like, I mean, when to start him? I don't know. Yep. But then also in the Zach Taylor system, which is a ripoff of the Sean McVay, because that's where he came from. He was Sean McVay's OC for a while. In that system, it's a 21 personnel system, an 11 personnel system.
Yeah.
So you're always going to have and 3 wide receiver sets, but sometimes the 3 wide receiver set, it's the tight end. But more often than not, it's when one of them is injured, Tyler Boyd or Higgins or Chase, because we'll see stretches where it's not all 3 of them. Then Hayden Hurst was coming into play. So now in this case, it's Irv Smith. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because once one of the 3 is missing, that tight end becomes a factor, bro. Like we see it all the time.
Hell yeah. And it's funny. What up, Charlie Brown? He said they fired Schottenheimer after going 14-2. And it's crazy because he deserved to get fired. Like when coaching clearly loses you a divisional playoff game. I mean,
you remember Mike Mularkey?
I mean, the name sounds familiar.
And you know what's crazy too is because it was Mike Mularkey and Ken Wisenhunt. Wisenhunt actually came from the Chargers prior to that, right? But so this was the staff. Mike Mularkey was the head coach. Ken Wisenhunt was the OC. This is the staff that drafted Mariota. And when they got to the playoffs, beat the Chiefs, then lost to New England, and they fired the fuck out of that staff. They still knew no matter what, we're getting rid of them, because it was like they were winning in spite of this dumbass coach. Like, you remember the way they beat the Chiefs? Mariota throws in the, I mean, he's in the end zone. He's in the red zone. He throws a pass, it gets swatted back to Mariota, and he runs it in. It was the most flukiest shit ever to beat one of the top teams that year. You feel me? Like I think that was the last Alex Smith, or the second to the last Alex Smith year.
It was they were going against the Patriots. They'd just gone 14-2, the Chargers. And like, it's crazy because I was actually in like the barber shop that I went to. It was one of the hood barber shops, but they had like, 5 dudes in there that are notorious in the barber game. And then like the homie that I went to, he was actually from New York, but somehow got intermingled with all these guys.
It be like that sometimes, bro. When you come out west, you don't leave, bro. Especially San Diego type of shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
So these dudes, they always had Charger players coming through. So they were coming through on like their bye week. And like they were like, oh yeah, it's about to be us and the Bears, like in the Super Bowl, and just already looking past the 2 teams that they would have had to beat to get there. And my homie was like, man, aren't you guys about to play the Patriots next week? And see, like, there's a mistake, like one right there. They're not even thinking about the Patriots right then. The opening drive of the game, Schottenheimer fucked this all the way up. It was like 4th and 11 or some shit on like the 20-yard line, and they go for it. They go for it and fail instead of kicking a fucking field goal that would have put them up 3-0. That already swings momentum like right away in the wrong direction. And then
stupid.
And then there was a fucking play. Then we get to like the 4th quarter, and so many things happen in the 4th quarter that's stupid. It's like they pick off Tom Brady with like 5 minutes left or some shit like that. And fucking, I don't even know who it was, man. I'm sure he got released after this game as well. He picks off Brady. He doesn't go down. He tries to run it back and house it. He runs it back like 10, 15 yards, and then he gets stripped. Brady gets the ball back, and I think they're even farther up. They're they're closer to the touchdown now than what they were because of just how that whole play worked out. And then I think it was later on that drive, like right at the end. We're talking very end of the game. They have Brady backed up in like a 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 20, some shit like that. And they stop him. And I can't remember who the fucking cornerback is who defends the play. He's so fucking hyped up, and he headbutts the wide receiver right in front of him after the play happened. 15 yards, automatic first down.
Oh my God, what a fucking dumbass.
That extended the play that like helped them lose the game. Like, it's just all these fucked up things and all these extra chances that you give Tom Brady. And they only lost by 3. Like, it was a hell of a close game. Only lost by 3. All these mistakes. And I know there was more than this. These are just the ones that were that memorable to me.
I'm cursing at these players worse than Marty Schottenheimer. Because this motherfucker was flashing. You might have actually heard a Philip Rivers curse word that There weren't no Farfignugens that day. You heard an actual F-bomb.
Charlie, I don't think that this was not the L. I'm almost positive that LT did not get hurt during this game. Yeah, because like
No, that was
he
the
was
other
about
year.
to fight after the game, like because they were in San Diego for this, and like some of the Patriots players came and they were dancing on the logo, and LT was about to fight. Like after the game, he was about to fuck some people up.
Yeah, because the other one, I think he's
It was
talking
the one
about
with Darren Sproles. It was the Colts where Darren
Yeah.
Sproles like won.
and he had, didn't he have a torn ACL? That's what it ended up being
Yeah,
for Tomlinson.
yeah.
Damn, they was okay. What year was that? Because did he miss an entire year, or did they?
No,
They just built him different.
Actually,
back
maybe
then,
it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't an
Well, oh, was it Phillip Rivers that had a partially torn ACL or something like that? Like,
Yeah, when he played on it, right?
yeah, he played on it, and I was like,
Yeah.
well, what? That was a stupid decision.
Yeah.
Like, you might as well have somebody play that was healthy and have a better chance than a hobbled Phil Rivers.
Yeah, they really didn't have anybody though, and he was a statue, anyways.
Yeah, they had him in the shotgun. I remember he had the brace on. It's crazy because I don't pay attention to the games. I didn't pay attention to games like that. Like, like when you're watching it. Like, we used to watch all the playoff games, all this shit. Have parties. It's really about having the parties back then. It wasn't until I started playing fantasy where where I'm fucking invested in every fucking play. You know what I mean?
This article just says if Phillip Rivers played through a torn ACL and Tomlinson aggravated his mystery injury.
Oh, they never said what it was.
Of the injury were never.
Oh, that's right. Because
That's insane. What the
They never
fuck?
said he had an injury. I remember this now. They never said he had an injury, but he sat on the bench. Remember?
Yeah, with like his helmet on and shit.
Yeah, and they were like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah.
And he just never told nobody. But he said I was just hurt. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, and Charlie Brown said, that's crazy. I forgot all this. I mean, shit, that game was like, shit, we're almost 20 years removed from that. Now, like, that's
no fucking way. Was that 06?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, that was a long fucking time ago, B.
And
Yeah,
Zed said, I met LT at a game. Cool dude. He said those blue Charger jerseys were dope. LT had.
Man, you mean the powder blue? Don't come on.
Yeah,
it's just like there's blue and there's sky blue and then there's powder blue. That
you know
powder
so
blue.
Random one time we went to the mall, and it's like literally like one time, like this is maybe 2019 or 18 because Noble's hella young at this point. Where we're like still holding him. He's not even. I mean, he probably could walk, but we were holding him at the mall.
Yeah.
And I'm going by this store, and like LT is in there, like doing like photo ops and stuff. And this is like when he's doing like prior to him going into the Hall of Fame. So it's like him doing the rounds like everywhere, on this Hall of Fame, media tour or whatever. And so the most random time I went to the mall ever, and LT was there. And so of course,
but that's the universe, though, bro. That's our life. Come on, like you know what I mean. This is just it's. I told you how I met. I told you the grocery store I went to routinely Steve Young went to because he lived in the country club that was like on the mountain, you know what I mean? Like up, and he would have to come down, you know what I'm saying? But he just so happened to be living in San Jose, you know what I mean? And like here we are in the east side in the hood, and he comes down from the mountain, from the fucking, you know what I mean? He goes to the grocery store. He's just a regular, he's by himself. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Or like Jerry Rice, the first time I ever met Jerry Rice, he was a Raider. And this motherfucker's walking into the mall. I'm in the mall. I'm a freshman, so I'm like 15 years old or 14 years old. And he walks in through the Macy's, and it's nighttime. It's like it's West Coast nighttime. It's like 6 o'clock because it's like fall. You know what I mean? So he walks in this motherfucker. He got stunners on at night. You feel me? Hey, he walks in this motherfucker, and my mom, she's at the Lancome. Is that what they call it? Lancome, the little makeup things and shit. And I was standing there next to her, and my mom's like, and I look when she's looking like, oh shit, Jerry Rice. And he looks at me, right? Like he started walking. He looks. I said, Niners, baby. And he just went along. You know what I mean?
That's fucking.
But you know what I mean? Like, fucking kid. Because I'm like, you're a Raider, man. And then he was at the in store, and I went. I'm like, oh, my mom's like, because we were at the Macy's, we're just going there for that. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go wait in line.
Yeah.
And try to get, something. And there was hella people in line too, hella Niners too, hella fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was at the Raiders Nation store, because that's what, you know what I mean? So you put it in the store.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, and I was walking around the store, and I'm like, man, there's nothing to fucking buy here to fucking that's a night. I mean, I don't have anything to get
This is all Raiders gear.
Yeah, and then like, and the line was dummy ass long, so I was like, fuck it, screw it. I was at the right place at the right time anyway. I had my personal little.
Yeah.
I got to troll him real quick.
Yeah, the coolest athlete that I met was Pete Rose, who's fucking savage, just like the way.
What was the conversation like?
Well, okay. Well, I mean, first off, let's just paint the picture. I'm going to Mandalay Bay, and we're going to see. This is what year would this have been? 2012, maybe. And 2012. And so don't live in Vegas yet. And we're going to the Mandalay Bay. I think we're going to see the Michael Jackson show. I can't remember what the hell we were going to go see at that point. And I'm just walking by. I don't even know what the hell the store is called, but it might have been the Field of Dreams or like whatever, but one of the sports shops. And it was like Pete Rose, and it was like it had dates and it had times. I was like, what the fuck is today? And like I pull out my phone, it's the last day on there.
The universe.
I was like, what fucking time is it right now? And it was like a half an hour like past, the time there.
The last time.
There's nobody in the store, but I walk in and I was like, hey, is he still here? And they're like, yeah, he's still here. And he was like, actually, if you buy something right now, it was like, if you buy like the top thing, it was like, you'll get like triple your value because we'll give you like one of everything. Because they're just trying to like sell as much as they can. Like no one's even in there anymore. So like I bought the jersey, which is like right behind me. It's kind of a little, what's it called? Glare right there. But yeah, I got like a jersey was like 400, a ball was like 300, and like, but I got the jersey, got the ball, got like 2 pictures, and like hanging out with him and got all these pictures and stuff. And he was like, where are you from? I was like, San Diego. He's like, man, they have amazing weather there, amazing ladies. He was like, but the baseball team, not so good.
I mean, shit, they're like the choke artists in this past couple years, huh? They give up the booty at the end.
It was what really fucked them last year, because they made a huge move.
Oh, the dude got suspended.
Yeah, for PEDs. And like what's crazy about this dude, so it's Fernando Tatis Jr. His dad is the guy, the notorious player that hit 2 grand slams in the same inning. And it's his son who's like the phenom in baseball, like right now. He's like he's very close to being the face of baseball, but he's about to be the face of baseball. And so he played shortstop. But since he got suspended for like 160 games, they had to get other guys to play other positions. And so like now they actually made all these moves to where they have a really dope shortstop. And so now he just plays every position. It was like whoever's about to get a day off, he just plays their position. And he just plays every day.
That's fucking tight. Like one of the highest paid right now too.
Yeah, I know that he got one of those 10-year fucking savage fucking contracts. Let's see.
So, but then he was suspended. He get none of that bread for the suspended games.
He lost out on that. But I mean, shit, 14-year, 340 million. Missing a half a season, you're not losing too much. And I think he was streaming on Twitch a lot at the time, because during COVID, he was one of the guys who was streaming on Twitch and playing baseball games.
Dang, you know what's crazy is I wonder if like the legend of his dad makes him like, you know what, I'm already hella good, but you know what, I can get better.
He hit How crazy is this? On the exact same day, I don't even know how many years later, but from the exact day when his dad did that, he goes into LA and hits 2 home runs in the same day, and one of them I think was a walk-off to like the game. Like, I know it's only a matter of they play in the same. He played. It was against the Dodgers, and that's where his dad hit the home run. His dad played for the Cardinals, and so just happened to be against a team that he's going to face like a shitload of times. But to do it on the exact day, however many years later was pretty cool too. And he's so good that people don't even care. I think they it's like they gave him a pass on the PEDs. He's so fucking good. I remember seeing him as a rookie, like the first year that he came up. It was in some trade where he got packaged in. He's like one of the top prospects in baseball. And then San Diego's in a rebuilding year, so they trade off their top starter. And they get like, I don't know how many picks and how many players, but he was one of the guys who got thrown in to this like crazy trade.
Nuts.
And just thrown in as a throw-in player. Office said eating burgers next to Jamarcus Russell. Yeah, he said he was in San Francisco's weird like that. Walk in by Rainn Wilson and was that Dwight Schrute in Chinatown was eating burgers next to Jamarcus Russell. That's nuts. You think Jamarcus Russell can't walk around anymore because of I mean not literally walk around, but you think he just gets booed everywhere? That
by Raiders. Like Raider fans will let a motherfucker know, bro. You know what I mean? But also too, it's Raider fans. They probably should have been more mad at Al Davis. You know what I mean? Like he was so old and senile. You know when they get to the old and senile phase, like he was doing some crazy shit, like giving all that money, or giving all that money to Jamarcus Russell. That's pretty crazy. You know what I mean?
It's nuts that we could go look at. I mean, I don't have I know I have the picture somewhere. I just got to go find it. But there was this stretch of like maybe like 10 years where like if you drafted after the Raiders in the first round, you were almost guaranteed like at least a stud of a player, if not like someone who was like an all-pro or like, I mean, shit, multiple Hall of Famers were drafted after the Raiders pick because early in this, I
remember seeing that. When it was the Raiders and the Niners. They had like a tie of a schedule, and we actually had to flip for it. So it was like Rod Woodson came out to flip for the Niners.
Okay.
And then I forget who came out to flip to represent the Raiders. But yeah, and then like I think we got Mike McGlinchey.
Okay.
It was actually he was pretty good. I mean, he was not Quentin Nelson because Quentin Nelson was the star left tackle coming out of Notre Dame, and then he was the right tackle coming out of Notre Dame. McGlinchey was, you know what I mean? And the Niners, that's who the Niners drafted. Man, we didn't even get him to a second contract. He's with the Broncos now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, which is fucking
I remember
dope.
So this stretch was like, it started off with like Calvin Johnson and like Larry Fitzgerald. Like those were some of the notorious big ones in the beginning. I remember Dante Whitner was one of those guys drafted right after a Raiders pick. I know there's more defensive players, but I'm spacing on it. But Aaron Rodgers, how about that? Like they picked the pick before Aaron Rodgers was fucking drafted. And so it's so many years of like, I know, I understand like people can miss on the draft picks, but how do you miss like by just like one pick? It's like the person is like, oh, come on. Don't pick
Al Davis.
Don't pick the guy we want. Don't pick the guy we want. Don't pick the guy they want. And then they're like, Henry Ruggs. They're like, yes, did not pick the guy that we want.
That is. And I was saying that in that 2020, that year, I was saying they got a Ouija board on the side and they're talking to Al Davis, bro. He was like, get the fastest guy. The fastest guy on the board. That old gritty New York fucking attitude, bro. Yeah. Because that's where he's from, right? He's from New York originally.
Uh-huh.
And then there's the son who's just a goof. That shit's crazy.
A real goofy haircut. And Officer Russell hung out on Broadway Street late night regularly during the season.
Sick.
And I said, I guess that's why the character or locker room leadership matters a lot. So you don't get Johnny Manziel types. Yeah, for sure. Because like, I don't know, like it's different in college But like, man, like you got to be a leader of men when you are in the NFL, and like, I don't know, these vets.
I think also too, it's like you gotta be, if you're not like you gotta be like a producer, right? Like there's someone like Mercedes Lewis, right? Mercedes Lewis, he's always like a team captain. Everybody loves him. He keeps everybody in check because he's been around for so long. But he puts in work. He does the dirty work. He's out there blocking. He's out there. Helps everything else. Helps the run game.
I have such a dope Mercedes Lewis fantasy story. This is like epic fantasy. Like going back to like David Garrard and Mercedes Lewis. You remember that?
Wow. Jags.
Yeah, on the Jags. And this is like, I cannot remember the game, but I'm sure we could go find it because that's how epic it was. Like Garrard to Mercedes Lewis. Like I have both of them on my team, mind you. And this is like an afternoon game as well. So the big first half games like already happened and shit. There's like a second half game. And it's like right at the end, like they're not doing that great, but they're not doing really bad. And like it's like 10 seconds left in the game. And Garrard just like chucks it like 60 yards in the air. Just like, up in a sea of people. There's nothing but people around, like in the end zone. And like the safety swats it down. And it goes right into Mercedes Lewis's stomach, and he runs it in for the touchdown.
Damn.
That was epic at the end of the game, and I had both of them. Like, that's a fantasy story that I'll, like, never forget.
Man, I got a ton of them, bro. I got a ton of those. But equally and maybe even more, I have where, like, I'm on the other side of those. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those are ugly. I think those have been like removed from my memory. Too much trauma. My brain is blocking them out.
Like the craziest. I remember this one time. It was the Chiefs. This was 2017. Chiefs, Cowboys, right? No. It's Cowboys and Washington with Kirk Cousins, right? And it's the Cowboys are they're lightweight smacking by like 2 scores, and it's like a minute left, and then Kirk turns the ball over. And mind you, I'm playing a guy, right, who has Dallas defense because it's a stupid team defense, right?
Yeah.
And then like so here they go fuck it. Kirk Cousins turns the ball over, right? And then Dak turns the ball over. I'm like, all right, cool. Get their defense off the shit, right? And then here's fucking Corky Kirk. It's clear garbage time now. He just throws up one, right? And the defender picks him off. And they're like, oh, the rookie. It was like a guy like in a rotation, like not even a starter. He's so happy to pick it off. He runs it all the way back. Everyone's just walking off the field, like the Washington guys. He runs it all the way back, and that shit cost me. And I'm like, this fucking guy, dude. Like, clearly no one's gonna stop him, but he's just so happy to score a fucking touchdown.
And Bake said, "Man, where's Alex Leatherwood?" He said we had terrible picks. How come the offensive linemen like never hit for the Raiders? Why do they always pick the worst fucking offensive linemen?
Alex Leatherwood had a second round grade and shit, and they go and get him in the first round.
What was that guy's name? Luke Gallery or Galloway? Or remember that? He fucking sucked.
You probably didn't even remember that name. Who else did they? And then they even,
because he was like highly rated on Madden. And I remember, like, when the homies drafted, he was like, man, don't draft that guy. Because he was a Raiders fan. He's like, that guy's a fucking bum. And that's why.
Remember Tim Brown. The Niners, we drafted Tim Brown, right? And then, like, Tim Brown was, like, really bad. But we trade him to the Patriots and part of that Jimmy deal, right? And then he's really good, like, highly rated on PFF. After a couple seasons with the Patriots, but he was always like highly graded at Pass Pro. But then I'm like, fuck no, he's terrible when you watch it. right? But it's because Brady gets the ball out like top 3 quickest in the game those years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like the pressure's coming. He's getting the ball out hella quick, and it's
over.
completed.
Yeah.
So when it gets completed, that means that he held up good and passed from.
Right.
You know what I mean? It doesn't. It's so skewed. And then Tim Brown, then he gets traded to the Raiders, and then they go, oh yeah, there's Tim Brown. But like, I mean, it worked okay in the Raiders because Derek Carr's in that same fashion where he got to get the ball out quick because the line sucks. You know what I mean? Like the Raiders line always sucks, man. But that's why Josh Jacobs so good, bro.
Yeah.
He just produces, bro. It don't matter.
He's the man. He's the man.
I know.
They better pay his ass. That's why he hasn't signed that shit.
Yeah.
Pay that man his money, goddammit. Like, man, he deserves it. And especially when all these contracts is you could out after 2 years anyways. And like most of these running backs, even if they sign a 4-year contract, they're restructuring after like 2 years anyways. Like, come on.
I mean, yeah, like look at Aaron Jones. He got his joint, right? A couple years ago.
He got a 4-year, $48 million.
Yeah, and they already restructured him, twice?
No, I think it was just once. But they could have got rid of him, remember? Like if they didn't restructure him. So it was I don't know if it was cash over cap, but I think it was just pushing back money on the extension, right? Like pushing it back to like just farther back.
I mean, yeah.
Making more of it a signing bonus. So yeah, I guess it is cash over cap because that's what signing bonus is. Damn, yeah. Office said Bills Cincy Hamlin game was my worst fantasy moment. I made 4 of 8 championships and lost all 4 championship games that I was projected to win easily. Yeah, that's rough. Definitely could have won more championships last year. But yeah.
I lost 2 of those championships like that last year.
Yeah. But yeah, that's tough. Not winning any championships and then losing like that way. Yeah. That will go down in history. That is for sure. Yeah, he's had enough of me bitching though. Glad Hamlin's back out there. He's still a backup though. Like that's the thing. He's still behind Micah Hyde, who I think they said is getting almost all the way back to normal.
I fuck with Micah Hyde tough.
Yeah, he's
and Poyer. OGs, bro.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's see. We're going to get up out of here. I'm going to smoke this last bowl. Any questions before we get out of here, throw them in there. We'll be back for FNT in a couple hours, and then we got a silver screen breakdown of Half Baked tonight. So make sure you guys come back for that. Mary It's going to be a good one. Woo, man, this Tahoe GB hitting, and cannot wait for August because we're working right now on we're working on getting the Ellis Greens down there, which Kev said it shouldn't be an issue, and then we're working.
I'm about to see Kevin a little bit. He's about to pull up.
We're working on getting the wafers and the drip there. Yeah, because we're gonna have a dab bar going there, and so that it's gonna be awesome.
Sick.
Yeah, and it's funny. Let me see. What's our new homie's name? Oh yeah, Drake. He said he's thinking about coming. Man, it sucks when I meet people who are in San Diego, but I meet them after I already left. Because Drake sounds like a cool motherfucker. He works at a smoke shop. He's into dabs and smokes good tree and all that. He's like, man, I'm gonna
loves long walks on the beach.
He was like, he was like, man, this sounds so fun. He was like, I got to get out there and meet the 420 crew in person. And and I was like, it's all inclusive, the weed, the dabs, the drinks. And he was like, you think there's going to be enough dabs?
Trust me, there will be.
Because I don't think a lot of people are going to.
Yeah, I was just about to say that part too.
Yeah, because I'm going to recommend people do even little baby dabs, just try it out because you can do a real tiny little piece of a dab and really just getting the taste of it and stuff. And
Your motherfuckers gonna be high for hours.
on a good one, that's for sure.
On a super good one though. That's like really though. Like that's one of the damn. I mean, concentrates in general, bro. It's crazy because it's the longest stretch in years that I don't just have in my pocket a cart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, how long you know me, bro? I've always had like, I don't have no tree. I'm like, oh yeah, where's my cart? You know what I mean? Yeah. Just inside the house when the kids drive me crazy. Like that's the one thing too. I mean, I need to get a cart, bro.
Yeah.
Kids be driving me crazy, and I like going in and out the house. Like I can't leave the baby ever. Yeah. The baby's so crazy. She's climbing everything, opening the cabinet, slamming it. We had this new TV stand, right? I'm like, well, it's not a TV stand, but the thing that goes right there. Yeah. And I'm like looking for her. Where the fuck is Mimi at, dude? This motherfucker's inside here. Yeah. You know what I mean? She's inside there. Like,
oh man, and those are little small spots, but for a 2-year-old, like, man, that's an easy spot.
I know, they're like, hell yeah. I'm like, because I was going back and forth with Magoobs on a trade, and I'm just like that, looking at my phone. You know what I mean? And I'm like, where the fuck she go? I'm like looking at her, and she in there quiet too. I was just like, where the fuck? I'm like going upstairs. I'm upstairs. Hey, where's Mimi? Yeah. And then I start tripping. Oh shit. Where's Mimi?
Yeah, she's about to be the best hide and go seek.
I come downstairs and say, Mimi. Then I hear her laugh. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker's in there. Again. And it was like, oh, she's in there again.
I know you haven't seen all the the Kevin Hart stand-ups, but did you see I don't even remember which one it was, but it was the bit about his daughter like hiding out like all day playing hide and seek. And
no.
Yeah, he was doing something. He says, "Go play hide and seek," and then like scared the shit out of him later, to where he like ran in the car and was like, thought someone was about to kill him.
Oh shit!
And then it's funny, and then she was like, "How come you had me waiting here for 10 hours, Daddy? I'm hungry."
Damn. Oh shit! He just forgot himself. That's crazy.
That's how good she was hiding that everybody forgot.
Damn.
And Office said, "I love cartridges due to the no smell. I can sneak a smoke at work everywhere." Hell yeah, man. I mean
it does smell, but just for a sec. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would just do straight dabs in my car. The last time that I had a regular job, like first it was a bubbler. I was all about the bubblers in the car because they could like fit right in the little cup holder.
The cup holder.
Yeah, real nice. But then I had to upgrade to dabs in the car because, man, like, I don't know, just working these regular ass jobs, like, need to be sedated to like deal with the stupid shit.
I'm not gonna lie. There's a number of times where like, we'll be in the road and you just look over in the traffic. Somebody you look over to in the next car and that motherfucker just has his torch. My girl's like, "What the fuck is he doing?" I was like, "He's hitting it down." Because it just looks hella crazy. Is he welding in there? No.
Especially like, because I mean, that's the torch that I got, the straight like plumber's welding torch, but that's actually like the best one because those small ass torches, those ones people be lighting cigars with and shit.
Yeah.
Those
don't work.
But I mean, they burn out like real quick, fuck up, and then just having to reload. Like, man, I mean, the what's it called? The cans of butane, they're fucking expensive, man. They're like $6, $7, $8, and they're like small as hell. But if you get the fucking, the welder's torch and they get the propane shit from Costco or from Walmart or whatever, like, man, that shit lasts like, I don't even know, like how much time longer. Hey, what up, Hassan? He said, "Hey there, guys. Happy early Father's Day. Cheers."
Cheers to all the fathers be.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do on Father's Day. If anything's gonna happen, Vanessa asked, "You want to go to Meow Wolf and do mushrooms?" And like that might be the move.
Because every time you go, you're gonna find something new. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. And every time I get a little bit more ballsy and take a little bit more than the time before.
I know. I got some chocolate. I ate a chocolate last night just to calm my mind. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You know, I ain't gonna front too. Initially, too, like, a hella mad at my girl. Because it just goes back to, like, this I'm always right thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I told your ass to go get checked a long fucking time ago. Like, you know what I mean? Because initially, you know, when they're like, oh, it might be emergency surgery. Like, you know, it's just inflammation. Just depending. But, you know, this bitch, the doctor at first, she's not at liberty to say all that. You know what I mean? Like, that's not her specialty, right? But she's just looking at the scan, assuming it. You know what I mean? So it's like, fuck, you know what I mean? Then I'm really mad. See, this motherfucker told her, like, you let it get to wherever it's at now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I told your ass a long time ago. Like, even when, like, at our old crib, was that like 2 months ago at this point now? Almost?
Yeah.
It happened over there, too. And she was still I don't know if she was still at the other job. Either way, because when I was like, I mean, if I had insurance, bro, I'm going, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when I had dental, bro, I'm going, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, if I could utilize that shit, I'm doing that shit, bro. Fucking dumb shit. Otherwise, like, everything else paying out of pocket, basically, or get the free shit. You know what I mean? That's the one thing, too, when you're, like, self-employed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, otherwise, it's like, the thing that sucks at most of those jobs anyway, bro, is just that, like, they going to offer Kaiser or something. Like, I can get Kaiser. Like, I got Kaiser. You know what I mean? I got it through Medi-Cal. I was like, fuck that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And some levels of that shit is fucking bullshit.
Stupid.
Yeah. I remember this is how bullshit I knew the insurance was. Okay, so the same shit that happened to me in Florida. That's been happening to me for years, and like I didn't know what the fuck it was, and like, you know, one person said it was diabetes, and like, but like, how can I have like diabetes one time and then like the next time like, I don't, right? I go and take.
I mean, she probably was looking at the results and assuming, and then when you go to then they send you to a specialist. I mean, that happens a lot, which is stupid.
I was within her vicinity for like 2 minutes. That's it. For her to like prick me with something and say I was diabetic right away, and then I go get blood work done, and then I'm not diabetic, you know. And maybe it's like on the, you know, on the verge or on the levels or whatever, because I don't didn't have the best eating habits, especially not back then. But then I go and like, and when I'm getting blood work and all the shit that was like happening with like my leg and all that, and explaining all the symptoms.
Was it a bacterial infection or something?
No, she told me that she was like, we're not sure what's wrong with you. She was like, just wear compression socks and it should fix everything.
Did it?
No.
Damn, what a crock.
That was in like maybe like 2014. And like this shit, like the Florida shit was like 2021. Some shit like that. So like randomly on and off. And then now I figured out what it was. And it took like me going to like a vein specialist.
What is it?
Like, well, it was a bacterial infection, but it's because I have, when I was born, I was born club-footed, and I had a cast on my leg for like, I think until I was like 1.5 or something.
That's funny because I was born flat-footed, and I used to have to wear them shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? That puts a curve in your shit.
Uh-huh.
And now I'm a dancing machine.
And and this isn't something that I knew then, and it wasn't something that I knew until 2021. Is that I have small veins, and if I get any kind of like bacterial like infection, like it could totally like fuck me up because my veins can't handle like the infection.
Yeah, so like it'll get inflamed and all that.
Yeah, and so and it's from having bad athlete's foot. And it's crazy because moving to Vegas, having less humidity, it's actually better for that issue that I had. Because it was from like working in jobs and wearing like, you know, being there for 10 hours, wearing socks, my feet sweating and shit like that. And just random shit like that. So working from home is better, and being in Vegas is better. And Office said, "Happy Father's Day, dudes." He said, "You guys work your asses off. Appreciate you, homie." And he said, "When you have insurance, often it isn't good enough. Pay a shit ton out of pocket." I remember having insurance and it coming out of my check at work. And this is when all this shit was like happening with like my leg and like these issues that I didn't know what the fuck was like going on. And like I go to like their urgent care, and the copay was like $75 or $100 or some shit like that. And I'm like, what the fuck? And like, it was fucking ridiculous. And yeah, so like, so I would still, like, the couple times that this shit happened, I would go into like those free clinics or whatever, and most of the time they were just giving me fucking antibiotics, and that was it. And those antibiotics probably weren't even doing anything. Like, it was probably just like healing over time. It's so fucking ridiculous. That shit went on and on for years, and nobody could fucking help me. And it was because I had like no insurance either. All right, we'll see if Bogey gets back here in a second. If not, we're gonna get ready to get up out of here. And let's see. I think a couple pieces of news might have came in. Let's see if anything's super important. We know that the Titans and the Patriots are hella interested in DeAndre Hopkins. Oh shit, no way. I wonder if this is true or not. It said Aaron Rodgers vetoed a trade to the New England Patriots and chose New York. What the hell? What the hell? The Patriots tried to get Aaron Rodgers? That is insane. All right. We're going to get up out of here. We'll be back in a couple hours. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. And Bake said, when are we starting the Mighty Ducks League? We'll do, so I got to get a few people to pay. And I think one more person might have to join. But we might be able to get that going, get that started today, and do the draft order race at the end of FNT. All right, we can get up out of here. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. We'll see you back for FNT at 1 West Coast time, 4 Eastern. Peace out.
Defense on me.
I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night. If they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm going to take every last one of you out. You make sure they remember forever the night they played the Titans.